Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome in. Today we're doing another channeled message for you. I have some cards that I've pulled, and immediately what was coming through was the feeling of good news is on the way, and that the energy that you've been in where things feel like they're working against you, no matter what you do, no matter what you try. There's either people that you feel like are what's the word, betraying you, betraying your trust, not being in reciprocal relationships, feeling as though you've been left out in the cold. I did not pull the Five of Cups, but that is the feeling that I'm getting. And all of that energy that you have had in and being in your head about, is it me? What am I doing wrong? All the worries, all the anxiety, all the things that you've been going through. And I'm picking up on this has been quite a long time now. Some of you years, some of you the last year, some of you the last 6 months. It feels like month to month. It's there's just been so much shedding, so much purging, so much more deep realizations coming to you from this process of continually being in experiences where you are denied what you're wanting, where you are betrayed by those around you, where it doesn't seem like it seems like no matter how much positivity you bring to the table, no matter how much you have that get up and go, okay, yes, yesterday was awful and X, Y, and Z happened, but I'm not gonna let that keep me down. I feel like the universe is just continually put you in these situations where it's not getting easier, it's not getting better. And I definitely can feel the pressure of wanting to give up, saying in your mind, however you speak to the universe or your spirit guides, okay, I'm ready. I've been, surrendering, I've been trusting, I've been putting love out into the world, and all I seem to get back is crap, right? But I really feel like that isolated feeling that you've had, that you're in it alone, you don't have anyone to turn to, that the structures and the people that used to support and love you are no longer there, and feeling so isolated. That's the energy that you've been in, right? And I want to skip ahead to the good part of the message, but I keep getting kind of drawn back into the energy that you've been in. And I think that there's a layer of that's happening because this is all you've known for so long, is how to work on yourself, and to how to be self-reliant, and how to it always comes back to you and the work that you're doing, and that you've healed so much that that when these situations come up, if it's with individuals, if it's whatever the experiences are, you understand that a mirror is being held up to you, and you say to yourself, okay, yes, this person really let me down, but what is unhealed in me that is triggering me right now? Because we know at the end of the day, we don't control anyone else, right? So I feel like you've really been asking yourself, okay, or not asking yourself, you've really come to the realization of I've been giving my power away. I don't have strong enough boundaries. I am still caught in reliving those childhood things that happened to me, where I had to people please, and I had to mirror those around me and cater to those around me in order to feel loved and accepted. And I feel like you're just in a place now where you're I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm very proud of you, because it can feel easy or it doesn't feel easy. I think that's the point, guys. I think that you're in a spot now where you're like, it's easier for me to walk away, or for me to have stronger boundaries, or for me to realize where I've been giving my power away and not do that anymore, than it is to stay in that old patterning of, I'm going to do this to people please. I'm going to do this to keep the peace. I'm going to do this to receive love. And so I'm so proud of you for that, because I feel like this has been probably this lifetime, if not multiple lifetimes, of you learning that you are powerful, right? And that you're no longer willing to give that power away to be in relations or be in experiences with people that don't value you, right? And maybe they do value you, but not value you the way that you want. It's easy for people to love and value you when you give them everything they want, when you're always there for them, to be their sounding board, to give them advice, right? And I feel like you've really learned, like, if I stop giving my power away and being that rock for everyone else, I can be my own rock. And I feel like, with that being said, that is why now there is good news on the way, right? That the things, I feel like it's multiple things, the things that you've been trying to manifest for yourself after a year or years, or especially the last 6 months have been particularly hard, I feel. It's the blockage. It's like the blockage has been released. You have now opened up the road through all of this work that you've done, through the purges, through the shadow work, through the self-reflection, through the honesty with yourself. And I was going to jump right in. I see, again, I'm still going back to all of this internal work that you've done, because I feel like it's so layered. And I feel like in the past, when things like this would come up, the things that have been happening the past 6 months, and every month since December, I feel like it's gotten, I don't want to say harder, but like more tests, more, you've been in more experiences where it's become increasingly uncomfortable to remain the way that you've remained your whole life, right? And so it's been layer after layer of taking back your power, again, doing the shadow work, realizing where your boundaries are very weak, and saying like, okay, like, no more, right? So it's through all of this multi-layered process, this months, years, if not lifetimes, of shedding and purging and really getting in touch with your authentic self, that now all of the things that you've been trying to manifest that have been blocked from you for months, for years, are finally coming in. That does not mean suddenly life is perfect, right? But I do feel as though this moment in time, whenever you're watching this, is when things start to change, because and they've already changed because you've changed, right? And the external circumstances always have a lag time, right? And again, it's just been week after week of you doing this work and not relenting and not falling back into old patterns. Or if you fallen back into old patterns or old coping mechanisms, you've quickly like backed up and been like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. And I'm getting such a sense of inner equilibrium, inner peace with where you're at. And again, I feel like in the past, that's where I was going with this. I feel like in the past, when the universe would test you over and over and over, the default may have been to get angry and to lash out and to blame. Well, if so-and-so didn't do this, then I would be heavier or whatever, or like, how dare them, right? I'm feeling a lot of sacred rage, right? And like these things, they do induce rage, they do induce anger, because when you have such a big heart and you love so deeply and you care so much, the anger protects that soft, big heart that you have, right? And so, but I feel as though you now are able to really embody the deep compassion and empathy that you feel for others while remaining very grounded and very firm in your boundaries. And that there's like it feels as though like it's not a cutting off or a going no contact situation, although I do feel like some of you may have gone no contact with certain individuals in your life. And I think, and if that's true for you, I think that that was the right thing for you to do. And then I think there's others in your life that are going to stay in your life, but they just don't have that level of access to you anymore that you used to give them, because you're like, okay, well, this isn't reciprocal. And I'm not going to let you drain me of my energy because you need something from me. And it's turning inward and giving that energy to yourself first and foremost, right? So again, I feel like I've spent a lot of this message talking about where you've been. And I think part of that is because I don't want to say a deep resistance, but I think that there's some people out there that feel skeptical that here's another message of things are turning around and your blessings are coming and the universe is so proud of you. And I know that that can feel so frustrating, to feel as though, you know, you have that sense within yourself that like, I trust that everything is working out in divine timing. I trust that like I'm fighting the good fight, right? And that eventually I will be able to materialize in the actual 3D world the things that I want, because I've been so steadfast and so committed to the path of awakening and aligning and just having that open, loving heart, right? And so, but I understand that, and I think that's why I focus so much of this message on where you've been, so that like, if this deeply resonates with you, that the next part of this, like the happy part of the message, you won't feel as though it's just, you know, another reader, another channeler, just making it sound good so that you watch the video, right? That's not what this is. This is a deeply authentic reading. This is not clickbait. This is not giving you the best possible scenario, right? And even when I was shuffling the cards before I started the video and I was in my meditation, I was just getting such good vibes, and I was like, I felt resistance to doing a reading like that, because I know that those readings can feel inauthentic sometimes, or that they feel like, you know, the reader's just trying to give you, you know, what you want to hear, right? So I spent so much time on the tough stuff, so that like, again, if those messages deeply resonated with you, that you know now that what is coming, you know, and time is fluid. So I'm not sure when, but I feel as though this very peaceful, grounded energy that you are embodying, it's just a matter of time of you holding that frequency, where the doors start to open for you, that you get the news that, and I did pull August as one of the cards that I pulled from the tea leaf deck, and I do really feel like, you know, one of the other cards was the torch, which says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So I do feel as though it's not just about the abundance and the security and the material comforts that you've been asking for. It's also so much deeper than that, because you've really done the work, and you really have. Enlightenment was one of the words that I was thinking before, but it felt so strong, because when I think of enlightenment, I think of the Buddha, right? And so to, insinuate ourselves on like, oh, I'm enlightened and I'm on that level. Obviously, enlightenment is a process, and even for Buddha, he was still challenged and still in his enlightenment. That doesn't mean life stops lifing, and that you never feel challenges, or you never feel anger, or you never feel your ego, right? That's not what that is. But I feel like you're just so much more comfortable with when things come up, to be in that enlightened, wise, compassionate place for yourself and for others. And I just the other couple of cards that I pulled, so we had the Robin, with new growth and potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. So I absolutely love that. And I also did get the World as well. So I feel like you really are closing out a cycle. You're closing out that period of Eight of Swords, of being in your head, of really just the anxieties taking over, and that the isolated feeling that you've had of like going at it alone, of internal work is an inside job, and it's not something that anyone can do for you. It's for you to do. So I feel really good about this, guys. I feel really, this strife, this challenge, it's leaving your life, right? And again, it doesn't mean that now life is perfect and you're in a Disney movie. No, I mean, that's a bad example, because Disney movies always have some strife and challenges for the main protagonist, right? But it's about how you're moving, right? You're moving more in, you're very aligned with your authentic self and your authentic voice. And I no longer feel a fear of using your voice, of being your authentic self, because you're realizing at the end of the day, if there are things that have upset you, I think you're realizing that it doesn't excuse the person's behavior, but I think that you're recognizing in a very enlightened, wise way that you gave your power away in a certain way, right? And you allowed certain behaviors to go on, or you entertained those things because you didn't want to lose that person, right? Or for whatever the reason was. You are really, I don't want to say like it's your fault, because it's not what I'm trying to say, but like you're understanding your role that you play within your relationships and how you enable certain behaviors with certain individuals, because you allow and enable, right? And you're not doing that anymore. You're just not. And you're not afraid. I feel like in the past, maybe you would have had boundaries but felt afraid or felt guilty or felt you would have used unnecessary force. And I feel there's a very soft, grounded energy with you of like, yeah, like this is the boundary. I don't need to fight it. I don't need to over explain it. And that's that. Anyway, guys, maybe I'll pull one last card. Oh yes, I wanted to pull one last card from this animal oracle deck. I can't remember, the Wild Wilderness. Oh my gosh, when you guys see the cards, you'll remember which one it is. But angel spirits, guys, please give me one last message for this collective as they move forward in this beautiful, grounded, authentic energy. We've got the Finch and Peace with romance. And I did have another card of true love that popped out. I didn't take it, but if it's love, if it's romance, if it's a job opportunity, if it's whatever that you've been wanting to manifest, because of the work that you've done, now you're able, like this bird, he's the finch, his wings are spread, his heart is open, he's not defended, he's not, you've cleared the way, you've opened the road, and I'm so proud of you, and it feels so good. And yeah, I'm so glad that you're here for another message. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, to hear where this resonated, where it didn't. I would love to hear from you guys. So yes, until the next message, I hope this finds you well, and